Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to use the TrustedTime API in React Native's new architecture for Android. Now the TrustedTime API helps you to get the date and time, accurate date and time, even if the user tries to manipulate his device date and time. So suppose in like most of the scenarios, what typically developers do, that they try to call their own backend server to get the accurate date and time. But if you have millions of users, like this would be like extremely cost heavy, like you would be unnecessarily increasing your cost. So it's better to use the TrustedTime API in this case, which does not require any internet connection. The only caveat is that the TrustedTime API, if a user reboots their device, uh, it requires the user to at least connect to internet once before using our app, or at the time of using our app, which according to me is fine. Like it will work for 99% of the use cases, like because most people nowadays require internet connection, like they like to use internet. So I don't think is a big deal. But while using it, you don't require an active internet connection. Behind the scene, once the user has connected to internet after rebooting their device at least once, it fetches the time from Google server with the help of Google Play services. That Google Play services helps us to fetch the accurate date and time. So I'll show you just an example of this. Just give me a second. Okay. I'm mirroring my device, so the output might be a little bit laggy. Just bear with me over here. So today is 16th of Feb. The time is 11 o'clock, level 10 I almost. So I'll just click on get date time. Here you can see I'm able to get 16th of Feb, level 9 am. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll just go to the settings of my app. I'll manipulate the date and time. Okay, I'll make it as 2nd of Feb and I'll set the time as, I don't know, 9 o'clock. Okay, now if I go back to my app and if I again click on get date time, here you can see I'm still able to get the accurate date and time, like 16th of Feb, level 9. So hopefully you got the point. I'm just using Android Studio to mirror my device so that I don't have to use any extra software. That's the only reason. Also you need to have this documentation handy. At the time of me recording this video, I'm using React Native 77. Keep this documentation handy because we will be using this. So let's get started. So first you need to create a project using the React Native community CLI. Yeah, you can just run this command. You don't have to specify the version, because if you don't specify the version, whatever is the latest version of React Native, it gets that. So like I said, I'm using React Native 77. You don't need to specify this. Also you can change your app name to whatever you feel like. Instead of turbo module example, I have named it as RN app, but feel free to use whatever you feel like. Okay, once you have created the project, also this is only for Android, unfortunately, but yeah. Then if you see the documentation, they tell us to create this specs folder. So that's what I have done over here. I have created a folder called specs. Inside that, it tells us to create this particular file, native local storage. Now local storage does not make sense in our case, so I have named it as native trustedtime.ts. The native keyword is very important. After that you can name it whatever you feel like, but if you're doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I am doing, because this particular TypeScript file name will be used in lot other places as well. Okay, next I have just copied this entire thing and pasted it inside our TypeScript file, but I have removed these 4 methods because it does not make sense in my case. I have just kept one method called get date time and it will be in string format. Okay, then here also this name should be changed, so this should be the name of your TypeScript file name, so make that change as well. Then again, if you come to the documentation, they tell us to copy this particular bit of code inside our package.json file. So just copy that and inside package.json just paste it over here. Again, you will have to change the name of this to your TypeScript file name followed by the word spec. Do not miss the word spec. And the package name also should be the same, all in lowercase, everything in lowercase, native TrustedTime or whatever is the name of your TypeScript file. Okay, once that is done, make sure I'll just go back. So here inside, I'm inside the root of my React Native project, right? So you have to run npm install because you have made changes to your package.json file. So this is also important. I have already run it, so I won't run it again. Again, coming back to our documentation, we are on the Android part. So you will next have to cd to the Android folder. So just copy this and you can just then paste it like this. /gradlew, paste it like this. So this will do code generation for Android. Again, I have already ran this command, so I won't run it again. Once that is done, let's see how to use it. We'll see the implementation later on. Just go to app.tsx, and here I have just imported the native trusted time from specs. Then here I have also imported touchable opacity as well as use state. So like I said, the trusted time API requires internet connection at least once when the user boots their device. While using it, it does not require any internet connection. If you want to learn more about it, you can go to this particular URL to learn more about it. So here you can see I have just created one state just to get the current date and time. Then here I have created one touchable opacity as well, and on press of it we just call this native trusted time dot get date time. It will give you the date time, and we just set it to our use state variable. And once this is updated, I'm just displaying it inside our text element. That's it. That's how simple it is. Next we need to write the native code. So again, I'll just scroll down. So inside Android, we'll first have to create this particular package name. So in our case, it will be native trusted time, and inside that we'll have to create this particular file. But we are using Kotlin, so let's move to the Kotlin tab. So we'll have to create this particular file. Again, the name of the file will be different. It should be native trusted time module.kt. Okay, so if you will have to go to the Android folder, go to app, go to src main java, and here you will have to go to com, and inside com you will have to first create this particular folder native trusted time. Okay, inside that you will have to create this particular file native trusted time module.kt. Now before I show you guys the code, there is one more thing which you need to do. You have to open this build.gradle file, scroll down at the bottom of the file, and you will have to add this particular dependency which is required for using trusted time API. So make sure you add this particular bit of code as well. Then coming back to our module.kt file, so again this should be your own package name. Now we can't really use this particular bit of code, so yeah, I will just show you my code, and you will have to add all these imports which are there. Here I have first created this particular class which is important for from trusted time, which we use as the trusted time instance. So better you create this class. Then here we create our module which takes a React application context and which extends from native trusted time spec. Then here we create a variable initialize it, the trusted time client accessor for our class, and here is our trusted time client as well. And inside the init method we just initialize, create the client, and if it is successful we just assign it to a trusted time client. In case of any error, maybe you can just use this system.current millis, or maybe you can send this error back to React Native side and fetch the date time using JavaScript itself. So it's up to you how you want to do it. Then here we override this get name method and just pass the name, and here you can see inside the companion object I have defined the name. Again, this name is very important. It should be your TypeScript file name. Here we then override the get date time method, and here we just do trusted time client dot compute current unique epoch millis. And in case if this for some reason fails, we are just falling it back to system.current time millis. But like I said, this might get you the wrong date in case if the user tries to manipulate the date and time of their device. Then here is our date object as well, and here is our simple date format. So this is how we get the date format, and we return the formatted date back to a React Native side. So yeah, that's how simple it is. Next, if you see the documentation, we need to create this particular package.kt file as well. So I have created this. Again, it should be your TypeScript file name followed by the word package.kt. Again, this should be your package name. These are all the imports. This I have copy pasted it from the documentation. Only thing which I have changed is everywhere instead of their own native local storage, I am writing native trusted time package over here, and here also I am writing native trusted time module over here as well, over here as well, over here as well, over here as well. One more thing which the documentation mentions wrong is this underscore part. Now from React Native 77 they have removed this underscore part, so don't just try to blindly copy this. What I have done is I have removed this underscore name as well as underscore class name from this first two, and for the last four we just remove the underscore. That's what I have done over here. Again, this might again change in React Native 78. Hopefully they don't, but yeah, this is how it works in React Native 77. They have not updated the docs. Unfortunately, this is still relevant for React Native 76, I guess. So yeah, this is done. Next you just have to go to RN app or whatever is your project name, go to main application.kt. you have to import your package first, something like this. Again you will have to change your file name depending on your TypeScript file name, and you have to add this native trusted time package. Okay, so yeah, that's it. That's how you are able to use trusted time API in React Native's new architecture for Android. Thank you for watching. Bye.